What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Bobby's Big Board. Jacory Croskey-Merritt was the 245th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, a 7th-round running back who barely played during his final collegiate season because of a weird eligibility situation. And then as a rookie last year, he turned around and rushed for over 800 yards, 8 touchdowns, and started looking like one of the biggest steals in that entire draft class. So today, we're going to look at how Croskey-Merritt went from a player most of the league passed on to a real candidate to lead Washington's backfield again this season. We'll go through the college path, what happened with the eligibility situation, and what showed up on tape for his rookie season, and why, most importantly, the Commanders may need to keep feeding him going into year 2. So let's get right into it. Before we get into the rookie film, I think it's important to understand why Croskey-Merritt was even available that late in the draft. Because when you look at just the talent, he doesn't really feel like a normal 7th-round running back, in my opinion. At New Mexico in 2023, he ran for 1,190 yards and 17 touchdowns. That was the season where he really started putting himself on the map. Then he transferred to Arizona, opened the next year up with over 100 yards and a touchdown in one game, and it looked like he was about to get a chance to prove himself on a bigger stage. But after that first game, everything basically stopped. He got caught up in an eligibility issue tied to his time at Alabama State, and Arizona ended up holding him out for the rest of the season. So instead of giving NFL teams a full year of recent Power 5 film, he had just the one game at Arizona, the New Mexico tape, and then one more chance at the Shrine Bowl, and he made the most out of that. He rushed for 97 yards, scored twice, he won Offensive MVP, and gave teams one last reminder of what he could do, and Washington ended up taking a chance with him in the 7th round with the 245th pick. And as a rookie, all he did was rush for 805 yards, 8 touchdowns, and averaged 4.6 yards per carry, and led the entire team in rushing. So now the conversation changes. He's no longer just a good story or a late round flyer. He was already producing in the NFL. The real question now is whether Washington should treat him like a true lead back going into year 2. And when you look at the film, in my opinion, there's a few traits that make that argument pretty easy to understand. Yeah, and on the film, I really want to talk about his vision, because his vision, in my opinion, is really solid, really underrated for the NFL on the stretch concept here. He's just going to be reading outside to in. Most stretch concepts are going to read from the outside over here to your gaps on the inside as well. So with Jacory Croskey-Merritt, he immediately identifies that there's going to be a hole open up right here, and he's going to take it. And another thing I want to pair with this play is not his agility, but his acceleration once he gets the ball in his hands. He is not a home run hitter by no means. This is a 27-yard gain, by the way. He's not a home run hitter at all. He doesn't have long speed, in my opinion, but he's got great burst, and I think that's one of the most important things to have as a running back. And you just see he gets there, he finishes through contact, gets about 3 or 4 extra yards there. He's able to fight off an arm tackle as well. Another thing with Jacory Croskey-Merritt that I saw again and again on film was arm tackles aren't going to bring this guy down. He runs powerful, and he likes to put his arm out there, get guys away from him, and finish through contact. And I think that's a very underrated thing about Jacory Croskey-Merritt. And I have to include this play on here as well because of just the stop-start ability of Jacory Croskey-Merritt paired with that vision is really, really dangerous. He's running like an outside zone. He's supposed to be running in this direction. And watch what he does as soon as he gets the ball. This is very impressive. This is really quick reaction speeds. And it ends up being a touchdown. Look at this. Whoop! Immediately changes directions, finds the hole in the defense, because the defense, in my opinion, plays this hole amazingly. A lot of running backs are going to get tackled right here. And he's able to pivot immediately around Dexter Lawrence and fight through the arm tackles like we've been talking about. He's really good at doing that. Burst into the end zone, fall in, always falling forward for extra yardage. That's a big thing with him as well. And you just see a really well executed play that's not executed well by the offensive line at all. And he's able to just juke back inside. This is all Jacory Croskey-Merritt. Ends up going for 16 yards for a touchdown for the Commanders. And on this last play, it's really all about physicality. I mean, this is a 42-yard gain from Jacory Croskey-Merritt, and it's just really an inside zone. I mean, that's all it is. It's nothing fancy. The Commanders don't really run a lot of fancy run plays, probably because their rookie running back was their lead back last year. I expect the Commanders to get a little bit more flashy, but watch what Jacory Croskey-Merritt does with the vision. I'm just going to go ahead and play it all the way through. Just able to cut back, no problem. And then he finds open space, and he's already full speed, basically. Once he gets about halfway through that 5-yard line, you know, he's already full speed here. It's not impressive speed, but the fact that he can get up to full speed immediately is very important. Now watch, I want you to pay attention to what he does after this. Cut, get off of me. Another guy, stiff arm him out of the play completely. Then he finally gets finished, but 42 yards here. He's able to find holes in the defense. This is another just cut back play here. He saw it as he was getting the ball. I mean, look, he's already looking that way. The offensive line, I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be going in this direction, but you see the hats, you know, none of the offensive linemen really have good leverage here outside of, you know, the left tackle here, but that's it. So he's cutting back, and he's able to just find the best holes in the defense and get the maximum amount of yardage every single play. He's got his limitations. He doesn't really catch footballs that well. He's not really a receiver in the passing game that much. And yes, he's pretty easily tackled if somebody gets a hold of his legs. But outside of that, he's a really solid running back, and I think he's going to get a lot of work this next season for the Commanders. So after going through the film, I don't think this has to be that complicated. Jacory Croskey-Merritt already showed enough as a runner to deserve a bigger role. The vision is absolutely there. The burst is there. He can make the first cut. He can get vertical. He has enough strength to run through arm tackles when defenders don't square him up. And for a 7th-round rookie, that is a pretty big deal. This wasn't a guy who just came in for a couple carries here and there and flashed once or twice. He finished with over 800 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns. He led the team in rushing. So now heading into year 2, the question is, how much do the Commanders want to put on his plate? I'm not saying he's already proven that he needs to be a 25 touch per game running back. There are still parts of his game that he needs to keep building. He only caught 9 passes as a rookie, so we need to see how much more he can give them on the passing downs, and the ball security has to be cleaned up, because if you're fighting for a bigger role, those mistakes can't keep showing up. But as a pure runner, I think he's already looked like the best back on this roster, and if Washington is serious about building a real run game around Jaden Daniels, Croskey-Merritt gives them something that they need. He gives them a back who can press the line, make a cut, hit creases, and turn blocked runs into bigger gains than they were supposed to be. That's why I like the feed him angle so much. It doesn't mean force feed him no matter what. It means give him enough touches to help him find a rhythm, give him enough chances to wear on a defense, and give him enough opportunities for the big play to show up. Because when you draft a player in the 7th round and he gives you this type of production right out of the gate, you don't overthink it. You need to keep developing the passing part of his game. You need to keep working on the ball security, but you also need to lean into what he already does so well. So this is my final take on this. Jacory Croskey-Merritt should be the Washington's lead runner this season, maybe not the only back involved, and maybe not a true every down player just yet, but he has already earned the chance to lead this backfield in carries, no question. And if the Commanders give him that opportunity, I think he has a real shot to be one of the better young running back stories in football this year. For fantasy, the receiving role is what keeps me from going completely crazy on him. If he only catches 1 pass every other week, that really does limit his ceiling. But if he leads the team in carries and gets the goal line work and keeps producing explosive runs, he is absolutely a player I want to be ahead of on before the breakout fully happens. So let me know what you think. Should Washington feed Jacory Croskey-Merritt this season, or are you still not sold on his abilities? If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.